And here we are, week 4, sheet 1. We're going to start out by multiplying some radicals together. Remember, when we're simplifying these things, we've got to look for our square numbers. Let's see. 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25, 6 squared is 36, 7 squared is 49, 8 squared is 64, 9 squared is 81, 10 squared is 100. Okay. So let's see, square root of 2 times square root of 5. That's just square root of 2 times 5, which is 10. Over here, square root of 8 times square root of 8. And remember, anytime we're multiplying together two square roots, anytime we multiply the square root of something just by itself, we get that number back. So that's just going to be 8. Of course, don't forget the 4 here. 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32. All right, next. Here we have square root of 20 times square root of 15. See, 20 times 15, 10 times 15 would be 150. So 20 times 15 is 300. And of course, we've got this 2 hanging out front here. So 2, we check, is 300 divisible by any of the numbers on our list? Yeah, it's divisible by 100. It's 3 times 100. So this is the same as 2 times square root of 100 times square root of 3. And square root of 100 is simply 10, so that's 2 times 10 times square root of 3. 2 times 10 is 20 times the square root of 3. And I'm going to leave the last one for you. Here we are finding the measure of angle B and stating the relationship between the angles. There's going to be 3 different relationships we're looking at here. One of them is going to be complementary, and that means they equal 90 when you add them up, or they make a right angle. And then we've got supplementary, and that means that they equal 180. Also, I'm going to put this underneath here. In this particular case, all the supplementary angles that we're going to deal with are a linear pair, which means that they make a straight line when you put them together. Okay. Or they're going to be vertical angles. Vertical angles are the same measure, and they come together and look like that. So 2 angles that are crossed from each other, or could be over here. These 2 angles over here are also vertical angles. They're the same measure. So let's take a look at a couple of them here. These, notice how angle B and 157, they make a straight line, so they are a linear pair. And linear pairs add up to 180 degrees because they make a straight line, and the straight line is 180 degrees. So whatever B is, you add it to 157 to get 180. And I'll let you kind of slide on all the equation solving here. We'll just figure out, let's see, 157, 167, 177. That's 23 degrees. Measure of angle B equals 23 degrees, and kind of slide on the work here. Next door, we've got these 2 here. Together, you'll see this little right angle symbol. They make a right angle. It means they add up to 90, which means they are complementary. Complementary, which means that B plus 31 is equal to 90 degrees. So the measure of angle B equals, let's see, If this were 30, it'd be 60 and 30. So this is one more than 30, and this is one less, 59. Down here, we've got B and 75. See again, they make a straight line. Linear pair. So they add up to 180 degrees. That's 75. That's B. We'll see. If this were 80, then that would make this 100. But this is 5 less than 80. So this would be 5 more than 100. Or the measure of angle B equals 105 degrees. The last one here. Oh, forgot to add these up, or mention this one. Sometimes another one is simply adjacent, which is our shorthand here, next door angles. These two angles, B and this 108, they're just next door to each other. They are adjacent. And that's what these are right here. All right? Now notice that B and 75, they're also adjacent. In fact, so are these up here. These are also adjacent. Any two angles that are just right next door to each other are adjacent. But these are special cases of adjacent angles, and these, not a special case, just ordinary adjacent angles. So let's see. We know that this big angle here, this huge angle, is 214 degrees. And this angle here is 108. And if we go all the way around the circle, it adds up to 360. So 214 plus 108 plus measure of angle B would equal 360 altogether. So let's see, this is 200, 300, 14 and 8 is 22, 322 plus measure of angle B is 360. So we'll subtract 322 from both sides, and we end up with measure of angle B equals, let's see, 320 would be 330, 330, 340, 350, 360, that would be 40, but it's 322, so it's 38 degrees. All right. What's next? All right, we've got a little equation solving here. Let's see. Well, let's start out with our combining like terms, because I've got a lot of like terms to combine over here. I've got a 1, a 4, and a negative 6. Well, a 1 and a 4 make a 5. Minus 6 is negative 1. So we've got V minus 1 equals V minus 1. Get our variable terms all on the same side. We usually put them on the left to be common, so we're going to get rid of this V right here by subtracting V. Take V away from here, we get negative 1. And over here, we take a V away, we get negative 1. And notice, all the variables are gone, and we're left with a true statement that negative 1 equals negative 1. What this means is that the solution is all real numbers. And all we ever deal with are real numbers in this case. But so before, we would come down and we would have like V equals something. Now in this particular case, we came down and all the V's are gone, and we have a true statement left over. And that means that we don't have anything to go back and substitute. We could actually go back and substitute anything. Anything will make this true. And you could test it out for yourselves. I could put a 2 in for V, and 1 plus 2 plus 4 minus 6 would equal 2 minus 1. I could put 10 in here. 1 plus 10 plus 4 minus 6 would equal 10 minus 1. No matter what I put in for V, I'm always going to get a true statement. All real numbers. Now, another particular case that comes up sometimes is you're going to come across one where you'll do all the math, you get down to the bottom, and you run across, and you've got something that isn't true, like 2 equals 5. And if that were the case, it would be no solution. No solution. That's not what's going on up here, but I'm just, writing it down for you so you know what that means. That means if I came down here and I have a true or a not true statement at the end, then, well, that means that nothing I would plug in for V would give me a true statement. Alright, let's go down here. Oh boy, these are a doozy. Absolute value equations. Now, an absolute value right here means that whatever is in here, whatever is inside this absolute value bars is 22, that's what the 22 means over here, 22 spaces away from 0 on the number line. There are several different ways to think of this, but whatever this number is, 8 minus 5m, whatever this quantity is, you work it out, it's 22 spaces away from 0 on the number line. Which means one of two things. Either 8 minus 5m is equal to 22, that's one possibility, or 8 minus 5m equals negative 22. Could be either of these things. So we just solve both equations separately, and it's going to be the same steps both times. So we start, we could, first thing we would do is subtract 8 from both sides. So for this equation here, 8 minus 8 is 0. It leaves us with a negative 5m. 22 minus 8 is 14. Over on this equation, leaves us with a negative 5m, but negative 22 minus 8 is negative 30. Over here, and over here, we do the same thing for both equations, the same set of steps. We're going to divide by 5. So let's see, that leaves us with, we should divide by negative 5. That leaves us with m equals, and we're just going to write it as 14 over 5. Don't turn it into a decimal. Just 14 over 5 means 14 divided by 5. It doesn't come out to be a whole number. Just leave it as a fraction. That's fine. Here, however, it does, that should be negative 14 over 5, by the way, because divided by negative 5. Here, we do get a whole number. Turns out to be m equals 6. So it turns out there are two possible answers here. Let's go check them both. All right? I'm going to use the handy-dandy calculator. We're going to go 8 minus 8 minus 5 times, I use my ABC button, negative 14 ABC 5, 22. So, works on that equation. And then over here in this equation, that means that 8 minus negative 5 is 22 spaces away from 0 on the number line. And over here, 8 minus 5 times, in this case, 6 equals a negative 22. So in this case, if m is 6, works out to negative 22, which means that we are an absolute value of negative 22 is still 22 because negative 22 is 22 spaces away from 0 on the number line. Well, let's do one more of these. All right, here, 10n minus 4 could equal positive 66, because that would be 66 spaces away from 0 on the number line. Or 10n minus 4 could equal negative 66, because that's also 66 spaces away from 0 on the number line. That's what absolute value means. So our steps for solving the equation will be the same either way. We're going to start by adding 4. So let's see, that leaves us with, over here we've got 10n and equals 70. And here that leaves us with 10n equals negative 66 plus 4. So it's like 66 degrees below 0. And we're going to go up 4 degrees. Now it's only negative 62. Well, that's a lot longer. Now we are going to divide by 10 on both sides. Here we get n equals 7. And over here, we get n equals negative 62 over 10. We could simplify that because we could divide both of these numerator and denominator by 2. Negative 62 divided by 2 is negative 31, and that's over 5. And that's going to be our answer on this side. Then we go back and check these, and you should check them. Since we have a space consideration here, we won't require it for these, but we could check them, and you should. We could calculate it at least. See, if n is 7, 10 times 7 is 70 minus 4 is 66. So that works. And then for the other one, we have negative 31 over 5. So let's see, that's 10 times negative 31 over 5. And then we subtract 4, negative 66. So it works there. I want you to go ahead and try the other two out on your own. See how it goes for you. All right.